estate plan. How would it be, how would you feel if you could have a will within about 20 minutes without going to making an appointment, going to see someone, answering those very difficult questions about who's going to receive what of yours, who are the guardians for your children, what are your medical directives, what are the things that you want your family to know. I think many of us, in fact 66% of adults don't have a will because it can be daunting. It's something you don't want to think about. But as much as you don't want to think about it, think about your family, and if God forbid something happens to you, they're definitely not going to want to think about it. They're not going to want to guess what were your wishes. They're not going to want to guess who to give your heirloom piece of jewelry to. And so this makes it very easy. It's not expensive. In fact, this is the lowest price we have ever offered from Trust and Will. This is a will-based estate planning kit, which can take you as little as 20 minutes to fill out. It's very easy, it's very secure, or you can take your time with it. This is a company that we brought in about maybe a year or two ago. Before us, they have helped families, over 500,000 families, with their will evaluation and planning. Here at QVC, already 32,000 orders have been placed, but this is the lowest price we've ever offered. This is one of the most overlooked aspects of our financial wellness and legacy. It's an easy guide. Again, you can take your time or 20 minutes. You fill it out. It will be mailed to you, the hard copies, and then you take it to have it notarized, and then it is legally binding. Legally binding, state specific, at our lowest price ever. You just choose whether it's you as an individual, if it's just you, or couples. The if purchased separately value for the individuals was $218. We are at just under $100 or a $20 charge on a credit card with our easy payment plan. For couples, it was $318. We are now at our lowest price ever, $170 or a $34 charge on a credit card. You're going to get the will-based estate plan for either one person or a couple with your last will and testament, your HIPAA authorization, living will, which is your medical directive, and power of attorney, plus a 1-year subscription to the Trust and Will online portal, so you can go in and make any changes. If there's, you know, a marriage that happens, you buy a house, a baby that happens in the family, those are reasons that you will want to change your will, and you can go in for a year and be able to do that. E328607 is your item number. Paige Bolovich is here, and she brings us Trust and Will. It is so good to have you here and to have one of probably the most important things that we can even offer here at QVC. It's not something that a lot of people want to think about, but it is so important for every single adult over the age of 18 to have a will.
Yes, it's a must. And I'll tell you, anytime I have the opportunity and honor to talk about Trust and Will, you'll see me. I'm glowing. I'm so happy to be here. We want you to shift your thinking. This doesn't have to be daunting and uncomfortable. And we know that it is. We know we've all procrastinated because you feel it's so heavy. But this truly is the most beautiful, important, valuable gift you can ever give your family. Like Terry said, only 66% actually do not have a will, which is staggering. And the reason is because we don't want to think about it. But I'll tell you, if we leave that for our children, our family, our loved ones, the burden, the heartbreak, the financial stress is monumental. So what they've done, Trust and Will, totally groundbreaking company, revolutionized the way that families plan for their future, their legacy, but they know there are so many reasons why it's time to get a will. First and foremost, this may be worth the price of admission, designating guardians not only for your children and your pets. That's been a big aha for not only myself, but our customers, because you need to have that plan in place. We're going to offer you healthcare electives. We're going to talk so much of, wow, how comprehensive this package is. Minimizing family conflict. You have all been so kind to share your stories. We have all been through this process and journey, and unfortunately, there's a lot of room for misinterpretation. So you want to have a clear communication with your clear wishes absolutely spelled out, and then some really nice pieces, which is gifting your property. Maybe you want to leave charitable gifts, but at the end of the day, a will is that basic document that anyone 18 years or older needs to have in place. And what is a will? Well, it's simply a legal document that states, Terry, how you wish your assets to be distributed. So we're talking your property, your possessions. I say your people because your children, you want to make sure are taken care of, your pets. And then we take it to that next level, final wishes. So your celebration of life can be included. You can also think about aspects of social media, your photos that are online, banking online. These are nuances of today that we actually have a modern, a modern will that weren't part of it yesterday.
Right. Yeah, it's so true. So can you tell us what happens when we purchase this? Remember, this is our lowest price ever. It's also our final only today's special value of the year. And before I ask you how easy it is, let me just get out of the way. You get a 1 year one-year subscription to the Trust and Will online portal. Does that begin when you purchase it? Or if I wanted to wait maybe a couple months, I have a friend getting married. I think this would be a great gift to give them.
Amazing
Does it start then?
That's
when you
a great
register?
question. I'm so thrilled you asked because, yes, if you're going to gift this activation does not start until you go online and activate with the redeemable voucher. So that year begins then. So, if you're going to give it in a year from now, like someone's getting married, go right ahead and do that. And then the whole process, how it works, you're going to see, we have a lot of tech around here today. Phone, computer, a tablet, all of those vehicles you can use to start creating your will. All you're going to do is after you decide today whether you want an individual will or that couples, we're going to send you home this redeemable voucher. And on that voucher, you're going to pop in, there'll be an activation code, and that unlocks your personal will. You're going to just start with simple questions like your name, your date of birth, and where you live. Your address is a key component because that's what create your state-specific will. That's important because laws differ from state to state. And when we say 20 minutes, it can take you 20 minutes, it could take you 10 minutes, or you can break it out in bite-sized chunks, and here's why. They simply ask you questions. I call it a questionnaire. It really is. It's asking, do you have children? Do you have pets? Do you want that backup plan? So we're going to walk you through that. But just to show you, we just did a time-elapse video to show you how fast, easy, smooth, simple this process is. You start as simple as a trust or a will, and we're going to talk about that. Today, we're offering you a will package. So select that will, and then it starts prompting you through the simple questions, your name, date of birth, address, and then it starts asking those questions about you and your life. Do you have children? Do you want guardians? Do you want guardians for your pets? Then it starts talking about your investments, your property, who you want to go with where. So think of it in terms of beneficiaries, executor, guardian. But then, Terry, it takes you and gives even more assets to it. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But just to tell you about this process, at the end of answering all these questions, you're going to hit finalize. And when you finalize that, you can do one of two things. You can print it right away if you need it instantly. But we are going to send you 2 folders with all of the information that you have provided, created that will. So I'm just going to hold up what you're going to receive.
Please show us. So it comes to you, hard copies, and then you need to have it notarized, correct?
Yeah, so you're going to take it to a notary. So at my bank, it's free. I just go over to my bank and I bring over all the documents. You're going to sign in front of the notary. Don't sign it at home. You want to make sure it's valid. You're going to go through your document. You're going to sign it. As soon as you sign it, notarize it with that notary, it is a legally binding document. A popular question I get often is, what if I already had a will in place? Once you do this one, this replaces your old will. And I'll tell you, please do consider to revisiting your will every 3-5 years, the experts say, because our life situation changes so often.
That is so true. I didn't even think, but just recently we went to an attorney and we still haven't finished because I had to think about the guardian thing. And so I haven't, this was about 3 months ago. When it's all finished, it's going to be about $1,500. Too bad I didn't know about this. We're already in the process, but I have lived in Pennsylvania now, our family, for 7 years. I didn't even think about the fact that our will that my husband and I did when we were first married, before we even had children, was in New Jersey, where
Yes.
we lived before. You have to have a state-specific will. This is going to be state-specific. So if you've moved in the past few years, or since you've done a will, if you've had a child, if you've bought a house, there are so many reasons to revisit a will, and you don't
Yes.
want to be spending thousands of dollars every time you do that. In this case, it's a $20 charge on a credit card, $100, lowest price we've ever done for the individual. For couples, it should be $318. We're at $170, or a charge on a credit card of $34. Now, do couples have to be married? That's one question.
Great question. They are recognized civil union marriages,
Okay.
or legal arrangements. They are covered with this as well.
Okay.
If you've been with someone for many years, you just do 2 individual. If you're not married, just do 2 individual. It's
Okay.
the same. So
And
we're
what
covered.
if you live in two different states? Someone was saying, asking a little bit earlier, would you have to do 2?
Well, it really does depend. It depends on where you spend the bulk of your time.
Right.
So I'm sure most people don't live 50-50 in states, in 2 different states. So there are going to be some questions that you ask that I can't give you that legal advice. You'd have to really break down how much time you reside in each.
Right.
But that could be an opportunity if you felt like you needed 2 individual wills. But I will tell you, once you start going through the questions, you really do understand the necessity for a will. It's anything, I'll tell you, I know a lot of people say, well, my children are 18. They don't have assets, but they do. They have a bank account. Maybe they have online assets like photographs. You have online assets with social media. And if you do not create a will, what happens? It becomes very messy, very complicated, very stressful for your loved ones. And therefore, they have to go through probate for an extensive period of time. And then you're kind of in limbo for a long time. So
Right.
if you think about it, if you can't make those decisions, putting that upon them is so heavy and hard and heartbreaking. And they really just want to celebrate your life.
Well, I lost my father in this past year. And luckily, he was very organized and had a will. I can tell you the last thing I would have wanted to do during that time was to have to think about any of the things that you are already going to have in here that tell your loved ones exactly what you wanted. Maybe this isn't a conversation you want to have with them right now. Your final wishes, what type of ceremony you would like to have, where you would like to be buried. These aren't easy conversations to have. They're not easy things to think about, but this makes it so easy and so affordable. So you are affording your loved ones the peace of mind, and yourself the peace of mind, that they're not going to have to go through agony trying to decide what you would have wanted, or arguing amongst themselves. There's the medical directive in here too. So even if it's not about who gets what of like your property, but it's also, there have been famous cases on TV for years of families fighting over what would this person have wanted to happen if you are in a state, which God forbid you would never want to be in, where you couldn't tell people anymore what your wishes were. Take 20 minutes, take a couple months, get this home and just do it. The peace of mind is, is unbelievable. You cannot put a price on it.
Best night's sleep ever
Yes.
when you had that complete. It's like how you feel when you complete your taxes, multiply that, because we all know we have to do it. We know you're going to be doing right by your family. And I want to tell you, this is a complete comprehensive package. So we've been talking a lot about the will today. The name of the company is Trust and Will. So today we're offering you a will. I don't want you to be intimidated when you see that word estate, because if you're like me, I'm like, I don't have an estate. I don't have multiple homes. I don't have a jet or anything like that. But it adds so much more. So I want to tell you everything you get. You'll see here, this is the finished product of your will and your health care. And you're wondering what that health care portion is. The additional pieces that are offered, again, worth the price of admission, HIPAA authorization. So every time you go to the doctor's office, they will ask you, is there anyone else you would like to share your medical information with? For me, my hand goes right up, yes, please, because I have daughters. I want them to have my access to my files because our DNA is connected. Power of attorney, offering you the capability to designate someone to make medical, financial, or legal decisions if need be. Maybe it's even someone you need to go to closing for your home because you're unavailable for work. So we're talking big picture, holding your hand. We want to also think about that living will. So anytime you've ever gone to have any type of small procedure, physicians will ask you, do you have that in place? And we really encourage you to think about that, because if ever you are unable to make that decision or incapacitated, your family knows the plan. It's already set in motion. You're not making decisions under stress or duress, which is key.